Imagine this moment. We're taught to believe that life is a sequence of random events, a dance of choices, encounters, obstacles, and coincidences. And yet, something deep within you brought you here. Maybe an intuition, maybe an unexplained curiosity, maybe an inner calling you haven't learned to translate yet. But one thing is certain, you didn't arrive here by accident. Every emotion you've felt, every image your mind has created, every thought you've repeated, has generated a frequency, an invisible yet real vibration, measurable, powerful, capable of traveling through space, influencing others, shifting perception, decisions, and direction. And that vibration opened a door you may have never truly noticed until now. Because no one teaches us that the mind is an energy field. No one tells us that thoughts are not just electrical signals, they are transmissions. No one explains that every human being is an antenna, a transmitter and receiver connected to the universe. But today we begin a different journey, a journey uniting neuroscience, quantum physics, emotion, consciousness, spirituality and inner evolution. A journey towards something that has remained hidden for far too long, the frequency of the mind. And more importantly, its quantum revelation. Because the question is no longer, what am I thinking? The real question is, what reality am I creating with what I think? Take a slow breath. Feel your body. Notice your presence. Because everything you're about to discover concerns you, your story, your energy, your future. We live in a universe made of vibration. Atoms aren't solid matter. They are oscillating energy fields. Time isn't linear. It's relative. Reality isn't separate. It's interconnected. Every heartbeat generates an electromagnetic field stronger than the brain's. Every thought transmits a signal. Every emotion alters your body's biochemistry. This means you are not a passive observer. You are a co-creator of reality, a point of consciousness in a vibrating ocean of information. And believe me, the universe notices, because the universe doesn't respond to words, it responds to the frequency behind them. How many times have you thought intensely about someone, and they suddenly appeared? How many times have you imagined something, and it happened? How many times have you felt, I need to go there, and there you found an answer, an opportunity, a turning point? Society calls it coincidence. Psychology calls it intuition. Spirituality calls it destiny. Quantum physics calls it wave function collapse. But the name doesn't matter. The mechanism does. Your attention creates structure. The quantum world responds to the observer, and that observer is you. Neuroscience shows that the brain doesn't distinguish between a real experience and an intensely imagined one. When you visualize something, the brain treats it as reality. It activates neural circuits, releases neurotransmitters, shifts physiology. And if you do it with emotion, intensity, and presence, that image becomes an energetic signature, a frequency. And frequencies never exist alone. They attract, resonate, amplify, interact. Have you ever felt on the same wavelength with someone? That's not a metaphor, it's physics. And here's the essential truth. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you vibrate. A mind filled with fear, even while longing for happiness, creates survival. A mind filled with anger, even while seeking love, generates conflict. A mind filled with guilt, even while wanting freedom, sabotages itself. But a mind vibrating in gratitude, presence, trust, and possibility opens doors that were once invisible. Reality doesn't punish you. It reflects you. So changing your life doesn't mean changing the outside world. It means changing your inner frequency. Now pause for a moment. Listen to your breath. Observe your thoughts without reacting. You'll notice something powerful. The thought is not aware of you. You are aware of the thought. And that changes everything. Because if you can observe, you can choose. And if you can choose, you can vibrate. And if you can vibrate, you can create reality. That is the quantum revelation. Not magic, not superstition, not fantasy. It is the architecture of existence. Many believe the mind is confined to the skull. But the heart generates an electromagnetic field up to 5,000 times stronger than the brain's. It influences perception, rhythm, intuition, decision-making. Emotion precedes thought. Energy precedes matter. Want to change your thoughts? Change your frequency. Want to change your frequency? Change your emotional state. Want to change your emotional state? Change the meaning you assign to reality. Because we don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. And when you change internally, something extraordinary happens. People shift, synchronicities appear, doors open, obstacles become messages, and what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. Not because the universe rewards you, but because it communicates through vibrational coherence. Most people spend their entire lives believing that reality happens to them. But what if reality is not something you endure, but something you broadcast? Every morning, before you speak, before you act, before your feet touch the ground, your mind has already begun transmitting. Your thoughts, your expectations, your emotional tone, they send a signal into the quantum field long before anything physical unfolds. And the universe doesn't respond to force, pressure, or control. It responds to clarity. So ask yourself, what energy do I wake up in? Do I rise with resistance or with willingness? Do I carry yesterday into today, or do I create space for the unknown? Life doesn't change when circumstances change. Life changes when you do. There is a profound shift that occurs the moment you stop chasing outcomes and start embodying the frequency of the outcome you desire. When you feel abundance before receiving it, you become a match for abundance. When you embody confidence before proof, proof begins to find you. When you choose inner peace before answers appear more easily. This isn't fantasy. It's vibrational entrainment, the natural synchronizing of energetic systems. The universe isn't withholding, it's reflecting. And once you understand that, you stop forcing and start allowing. You stop surviving and start creating. So for the next 24 hours, become aware of your frequency. Not your tasks, not your problems, not your goals, your state of being. Notice the thoughts you repeat. Notice the emotions you feed. Notice the stories you choose to believe. Because your energy is not responding to your life is responding to your energy. Every moment is a broadcast, a vibration, a possibility. You don't need certainty. You don't need permission. You only need willingness to tune your mind into a higher frequency and watch reality reorganize around it. So here comes the ultimate question. If everything is vibration, what frequency do you want to become? Not what you want to achieve, not who you want to convince, not what goal you want to reach, but what energy you choose to embody. Because once you change your frequency, life has no choice. It must align with you. That is freedom, that is power, that is awakening. If what you heard resonates, don't ignore it. Intuition never speaks without purpose. It always guides you toward expansion. And if you feel this isn't an ending but a beginning, then stay with us. Welcome to Quantum Mind Frequency, the space of consciousness, energy, and inner evolution. Subscribe to the channel here. https://www.youtube.com. Quantum Mind Frequency. Your future isn't a coincidence, it's a frequency. And it begins now.